The story begins with a young girl named Kasai, who recently moved to a new village with her family. When she wakes up, she takes a video of her surroundings and expresses surprise at living in a village before heading to her new school. Upon arriving at the school, Kasai takes a selfie and steps inside, determined to be a disciplined, humble, and sociable student. Another student named Shino Odagari is called by the teachers to show Kasai around since she also recently moved from the city. In the teacher's room, Odagari discovers Kasai talking with the teacher, who asks her to assist Kasai in adjusting to the school. As they make their way to class, Kasai continues recording the environment but unintentionally captures Odagari, who asks her not to do so and walks away. In the classroom, Kasai introduces herself gracefully and takes a seat. During break time, she observes other students gathering in different groups while she sits alone. Wanting to fit in and make friends, she contemplates joining one of the groups. Before she can make a move, Urea Fujizaka, a popular girl from the class, approaches Kasai with her friends and initiates a conversation. They seem to enjoy each other's company and make plans to have lunch together. Meanwhile, Odagari, sitting on a bench, suddenly experiences difficulty breathing. Her friend approaches her and expresses concern. Odagari confesses that she is panicking because she has ended up in the same class as Kasai and reveals past experiences of being bullied by Kasai and her gang during junior high school. Upon hearing Odagari's revelation, the perception of Kasai among the other students in the class changes immediately. Shocked, Odagari rushes out of the class, and Kasai follows her, seeking an explanation for the accusation. As they talk, Kasai realizes that Odagari is actually a former classmate named Kimura, who was bullied by Kasai's group in junior high school while Odagari watched without intervening. This fuels Odagari's determination for revenge. In the next scene, a classmate approaches them, and upon seeing her, Odagari portrays herself as a victim. Subsequently, it is shown that after Odagari's revelation, nobody in the class talks to or interacts with Kasai. The following day, Shizuki Natori, a member of Urea's group who has recovered from an illness, returns to school. Natori, a cheerful character, enters the classroom and asks Urea about the new student, Kasai. However, Urea stops Natori and discloses how she bullied Odagari in the past. Filled with anger, Natori confronts Kasai and pours water on her head, demanding an apology for Odagari. Feeling humiliated, Kasai storms out of the classroom, unintentionally hurting Natori's fingers as she slams the door. Natori screams in pain, and Odagari, experiencing shivers, reveals that Kasai had subjected her to the same treatment in junior high school. The next day, upon entering the classroom, Kasai discovers derogatory words written on her desk. To her dismay, she also finds her torn notebook hidden under the trash in the nearby bin. Frustrated, Kasai grabs her phone, records the desk's date, and curses her misfortune. In an act of retaliation, she tears Urea's notebook just as Urea had done to hers. During the following class, Odagari is seen discreetly keeping a small salt container and wondering where she can hide it. Once everyone leaves, she seizes the opportunity to return to the classroom, searching for Kasai's phone. On the subsequent day, Kasai enters school and promptly apologizes to Natori and Urea for her actions from the previous day. However, she is taken aback when Urea shows her a video of herself complaining about school and village life, realizing that Odagari had shared the videos from her phone. While eating her lunch alone later on, Kasai is approached by a classmate who invites her to an upcoming festival. Kasai tries to dissuade her and establish a friendship, but her efforts prove fruitless. At that moment, Odagari intervenes, admonishing Kasai for her lack of friends. In the following scene, Kasai is found lying on the floor of the ladies' bathroom, indicating that she has once again been targeted by Urea and her group. Odagari arrives and, initially smiling at Kasai's pitiful state, quickly succumbs to a panic attack, triggered by her own past bullying trauma during junior high. As the students begin decorating the school for the upcoming festival, Urea and her friends engage in painting while their teacher, Natori, gives instructions. Seizing a moment when their teacher exits the room, Urea approaches Kasai and smears her face with a paintbrush. Kasai attempts to escape but is caught by one of the male students. Despite this setback, she manages to break free and rushes to the bathroom. While Kasai cleanses her face, Odagari enters and taunts her, warning that this is only the beginning. Finally, the day of the festival arrives, and Kasai is asked to don a cosplay costume. As she lifts the uniform, she is horrified to discover a pile of earthworms concealed within it. Overwhelmed, Kasai decides to return home but is compelled to remain within the school until the festival concludes. Feeling irritated, she enters an empty room and locks herself inside. Meanwhile, Urea and her group can be observed searching for Kasai. After resting for a few hours, Kasai emerges from the room, but Urea quickly apprehends her, pushing her back inside and locking the door from the outside. Once the festival concludes, Urea and her group return to unlock the door, only to be astonished by the sight of Kasai kneeling on the mattress and urinating. Urea attempts to mock Kasai, commenting on her unpleasant smell and urging her friends to record the scene. However, another student intervenes and prevents Urea from doing so. Filled with anger, Kasai exits the room and angrily throws her wet underwear against the wall. This causes the group to leave, leaving her alone. The next day, news spreads throughout the school about Kasai's incident of urination and underwear throwing, leading to widespread mockery from everyone. Witnessing this, Odagari smugly enters the bathroom and maliciously laughs. In another location, Kasai decides not to attend school and instead meets up with her old friends to spend time with them. After returning home, she opts to change her appearance by dyeing her hair. In the subsequent scene, a revitalized Kasai returns to school, leaving everyone shocked. Just as Urea approaches to mock her, Kasai retaliates and ridicules Urea's hairstyle. Soon, teacher Midori summons Natori out of the classroom and hands her a small note indicating that someone in the class is being bullied. Natori then passes the note to Urea and confronts the class about the identity of the person who reported the incident to the teacher. Meanwhile, a concerned student named Kondo catches Kasai's attention, prompting Kasai to take responsibility. Upon hearing this, Urea angrily pours a bottle of black ink on Kasai. While on her way home, Kondo approaches Kasai and apologizes for her actions. Kondo also provides Kasai with information about Natori. In return, Kasai invites Kondo to stay for a cup of tea. The following day, Kasai can be seen conversing with Urea through Kondo's messaging account. During the conversation, Urea vents about Natori and how she feels obligated to stay by her side. Kasai then instructs Kondo to sabotage Urea's phone to prevent her from altering the messages. After school, Kondo brings Natori to Kasai, who tells her that Urea doesn't like her. Natori doesn't believe it at first, but when Kasai shows her the whole conversation, she has to believe it. Natori tries to contact Urea but can't reach her. This makes Natori sad, and she runs away immediately. Kasai asks Kondo to follow Natori and try to stop her. In another place, Urea is trying to turn on her damaged mobile phone. At the same time, she hears a scream. She rushes downstairs and finds Natori's body covered in blood. In the next scene, students are discussing how Urea was found near Natori's body. They suspect Urea hurt Natori on purpose. Meanwhile, Kasai tries to continue as usual. One day, Odagari confronts Kasai and tells her that she will never change her mean behavior. She screams at Kasai and cuts her pulse in front of her, not knowing that she is being recorded. In the teacher's room, the principal talks to Midori about the bullying happening in her class. Midori responds by saying that bullying happens everywhere and that she wants her students to face it on their own. At night, Kasai goes through all the recordings she has collected over time. She uploads them to a website and shares them with the whole school. The next day, when Odagari comes to class, everyone stares at her in shock after watching the video of Odagari yelling and bullying Kasai. Urea is also surprised by the videos. She approaches Kasai and asks if she really bullied Odagari before. However, everyone starts blaming Urea for choosing the wrong target. Shortly after, Odagari confronts Kasai and accuses her of ruining her life. Kasai responds that everyone should take control of their own lives and not blame others for the outcomes. In the final scene, Kasai walks into the classroom and tells everyone that they are the real bullies because they didn't stand up against bullying and enjoyed watching it happen. Because they didn't take action, a student was bullied repeatedly. Kasai also says that she will never forgive anyone, and soon they will die. After saying this, she leaves the classroom, and suddenly the students start falling to the ground.